Alright, before I start this video, I'd like to give a spoiler warning and self-plug. There will be spoilers to the Rain World DLC in this video, and the original Rain World. And if you haven't seen my other Rain World video, I recommend watching that one first, as I won't be talking about the basics, and I also like views, because I like dopamine through my veins, yeah, but alright, enjoy the video. Oh my god, I never would have thought it, but this game has become my favorite game ever in the last month. It has amazing gameplay and a great world. But now I'm done with the 3 slug cats, and now I'm empty inside. Wait. What's that? Oh my god! This is the best DLC I've ever played, period. So many new characters and new creatures to mess around with. Even new modes like Expedition and Challenge mode. I've never been so happy seeing more content for a game as I have with Rain World. After I finished Monk, Survivor, and Hunter, I was a bit saddened that I wouldn't be able to get, new content of this game, but then I remembered about Downpour. I was jumping up and down on my chair after realizing this. I never really played a game that I liked that had exciting DLC, so this was a very welcome surprise, and I played the hell out of this colorful and weird DLC. Not only did they give us 5 new playable characters to play with, but they also gave us new regions and enemies. I honestly didn't think they'd go so crazy with strengths and weaknesses of each slug cat, but it turned out to be an amazing choice. This DLC even has more content than the base game. That's just kind of crazy to me. These developers really set themselves on a journey to torture themselves for this artistic masterpiece. All 5 new slug cats have different stories and endings. They're all different and unique. Some stories are more important to the lore than the others, but I still love every campaign. They were all amazing. These developers are quite literally some masochistic mongoloids. They managed to make a breathtaking experience even more breathtaking by putting all their eggs in this basket. And it really shows off. I never liked the game more than this, and that was even before the DLC, and the DLC even just made it 10 times better, man. I just love how they gave us so much more to work with, even though the original game was already packed to the brim with items and regions, and blatantly unfair gameplay at times. I know why people are put off by this game. It is hard, annoying, unfair, random, and stupid sometimes. A lot of people didn't give the original Rain World a real chance because of its difficulty, but that's the magic of the game, because after every death, you also gain a bit of knowledge, and you find your own way to overcome any obstacle. When people pass the barrier of being in limbo of quitting or not quitting, they get to enjoy one of the deepest and most amazingly made game I've played to date. And I just love these new designs. There's Gourmand, Artificer, Rivulet, Spearmaster, and Saint. They all have vastly different abilities, which makes them fun and fresh to play. I personally like Artificer power the most because I like channeling my inner Junkrat and exploding everything.
There's 2 things that solve every problem: money and explosives. I've got an idea!
All of these campaigns are impactful in their own right, and it's hard to pick favorites. Video Cult really outdid themselves with everything in this DLC. I'm a really big fan of exploring these new regions. Outer Expanse and Metropolis are my personal favorites. Cool thing about Metropolis, actually, you can only enter as the Artificer, because he holds an item no other slug cat has. This weird floating gold thingy that opens the gate to Metropolis. I find this to be such a cool addition to the game, as it makes the world so much more aversive. Like, it just makes me love it 10 times more. But with a lot of pros comes a lot of cons. Man, what did they do to Garbage Waste? You used to be cool, man. This place was a high mid-tier, but in some of the campaigns, it's the worst thing ever. Maybe not as bad as Shaded Citadel when you start the game, but you already know my stance on that region. I don't know, man. This region sucks balls, dude. This game is such a blast either way. Though you'll get to learn the new mechanics and features they added, every campaign brings different atmospheres as well. You'll have to learn how to avoid the new enemies, how to complete every quest or mission. You'll see more of the mysterious and melancholy world just by existing. If any of you watched the Getting Over It video, you'd know I love the feeling of progression while playing a game. By that, I don't mean getting closer to the end goal, like the end of the story. No, I mean as you can see yourself becoming, like, you start as this helpless little rat to a hulking monster who can almost kill anything. You rise on the food chain by just experiencing, not power-ups, and that has never been so prevalent until Downpour. You feel way less vulnerable as well, as you probably already have a few hours under your belt before playing the DLC, so instead of being prey, you're a predator with various powers. And the map layout has also changed. Video Cult made a great way of making a somewhat repetitive game less repetitive by actually changing up the regions. For example, in the Rivulet campaign, you get this whole new giant region to explore that I'm pretty sure is exclusive to him and Saint. This is basically Looks to the Moon's iterator. If you don't know what an iterator is, either watch like a lore video, like a 2-hour long lore video, or I can just explain it in small detail. It's basically a giga building that sentient robots control. I don't know, that's the most basic way of saying it. And this iterator is so cool. It's sunk halfway down the ocean and looks so ominous, and it also sounds mysterious as hell. I really like this area. Thumbs up! And the story got even crazier. Like before this, we only had some homeless Joe wandering around looking for the pool of sweet Mountain Dew delight. Now we have God barging in, ascending everything as that's his God-given right, I guess. Talking about that God, I want to get into Rubicon, a new region they added to this game. It's beautiful, tough, and blatantly unfair to the player, as it has the strongest enemies in the game, all packed up in a medium-sized area. This area is unacceptable as hell, and should have been thought out for a bit longer. But even with all the biases towards this region, I still think it's really cool. It looks amazing, it's really difficult, and I felt like I was in hell, but the ending to this game made me tear up like a little baby. The rewards you get after completing the game is just amazing. They reward you with such a beautiful spectacle of an animation, and leaves you satisfied and wanting more at the same time. Alright, well, that was the video. Hope I can convince some of you to buy and play the game. It is worth it. It is underrated as hell, I promise you that. Oh, yeah, and this is my tier list for the funny slug things. Yeah, it's their campaign, not their power. Okay, bye!